Alright, this is a story of the old Cherokee folklore legend of the Enchanted Lake of the Smoky Mountains. Now, this place, if you've ever been to Clingmans Dome, which is up kind of above Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and on the edge of North Carolina, that's the kind of the place, kind of at the bottom of that spike on the mountain. There's where this place is supposedly located. And, it's said that it's by a big white bear. There's a big white bear there that actually rules this land and manages this lake. Now, this bear is much bigger than other bears, and he's done a lot of things. He was like an advisor, medicine man. A lot of the Indians believe that bears a lot of times were people at one time, and he got this cure of wounds, and this cure was in the actual lake, and this lake is kind of like a deep secret lake that'll heal anything, even humans if they could get it. You could swim across the lake, and if a bear was wounded, it'd come out healed on the other side. And also, other animals such as birds would be in there included that could get there and get cured. And it's hidden in the forest of all these spruce trees, hemlocks, rhododendrons, and in the wildest places up there. And usually it's just so tough to get to. It's because the trail is so difficult that only animals can get there, and it's really not meant for man. And this would be a place where even if man could see it, it'd be so tempting to the hunters that with all the fish and wildlife and all the ducks and animals in there, they'd be too tempted to want to hunt them down. So, Atag-Hi, it has like a purplish looking waterish area, and sometimes the skies of they say the birds are so thick you can't even see the sun because they come and fly in this area to get healed and refreshed. But one time, according to the Cherokee legend, there was a man who had in his heart he did not want to hurt the bears or the birds, and he didn't want to hunt or eat the fish. He just wanted to see it. So the young man went there with great intentions, and where he thought the lake was, he he did prayers without sleep, the and so one day that he fasted and got up, the actual lake appeared to him, and it was just really cool looking, purple violet waters, and it had overhangs and just beautiful waters. And when he looked at it, he said, "Oh man, look at the multitudes of birds and fish and rabbits and deers and animals just all over the place." Which, he just couldn't understand this. But then one of these bears, and these were more like intelligent animals, heard this guy. And then that's when, the birds took off and the enchanted lake began to disappear. So the Indian said, "Okay, wait a minute, man. I want to put some rocks here." So he piled a bunch of stones there where he thought, where he was at the lake. And then he went back to his village, and everybody's like, "Hey, yeah, that was really great, man. Cool." But during that time, they had a really bad winter, and this was so bad people were starving and they couldn't hunt anything. They couldn't find anything. So all the families and the tribe said, "Yeah, you have to go there to that place and you have to hunt some animals or we're going to die." And he said, "No, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's a spiritual place. I cannot do it." And they all said, "Well, you got to have to do it because that's what we got to do." So he grudgingly said, "Okay, I'll do it." And he took off in a blizzard, and he walked up through the snow and the ice trying to find the place, and he got under hemlock, and he's just looking around trying to find where the rocks were, but it's all, he couldn't find his way in there. So then he did some prayers and said, "Okay, I'll stay here tonight." And by morning when he woke up, everything was more clear. The sunshine came up, and you know and there was a warm mist from the waters, and he saw the enchanted lake. The young hunter could see all the animals once again. So he slipped out his bow, and then he said, "Okay, I'm gonna fire and hit one of the bears. The bear should be big enough to feed my family, so I just want one." And he struck the bear in the neck, and then the bear kind of looked at it and said, "Well, hold their thighs, And he looked around and said, okay, it's the young hunter. And then everything stopped. The birds stopped, the deer stopped in place. Every animal there just kind of froze. Like, this could never possibly happen here because this is a sanctuary, that this is magical. And then the wounded bear told the hunter, hey, you betrayed me. This is something we gave you. So the Cherokee dude was then attacked by other bears, and they killed him, ate him up, mauled him, tore him all to pieces. Then the wounded bear fell back in the waters and came back out perfectly healed. But see, when the weather cleared, the men from the village went out hunting for him. They found the body of a young hunter. It was laying in a clearing in a low place. And the elders said there was once a marsh, and through that hunter he'd been torn to pieces by claws and teeth by many bears. When they could see that he did not find any tracks in the snow, though. The hunter, he'd angered the white bear. And this white bear said, as a result of this, no matter how much you pray, how much you fast, or how much you do, locating the magical lake is not impossible anymore. But at certain times when you're up there at Clingmans around that area, you can still see or hear thousands of wings like going up in the sky, lifting up the surface around the magic lake. So the Cherokee claim, it's real magical lake up there. And there was even one story about this old timer went up, is in the area, and he actually found some water lily blossoms up in the needles of a hemlock, kind of indicating that there might have been water up in there in that area. But nobody knows where this place is today. But if you look around and you're camping or hiking around Clingmans and you come down to the bottom of it, somewhere in there, it'd be really cool to find this lake, so it could heal everybody. But because men want to do and invade their sanctuary, they closed it off to where we can't see it anymore. How about that? Good story.